when we have a break, because you know me, I like to give out stuff. All right. There we go. So, we are at the beautiful COX Science Center and Aquarium, which is our program delivery organization. They were an organization last year, and this year they are continuing. We are so thankful to have them. They are an amazing group of people. We are First Lego League, and the Stiles Nicholson Foundation is our main sponsor, and they are wonderful. And that's who basically gets us going and keeps this program going in South Florida. We are at the coxsciencecenter.org first-lego-league. That's our website. And here's your team. Sasha, Lisa, Stacy, Amy, and Rob. No idea why I just plotted off, but it's okay. Looks great. Sasha, where's Sasha? There she is. Sasha is now our brand new program assistant. She basically keeps Lisa sane, which we're so thankful for. Amy, which you probably all know, Amy Erickson, she's not here today, but Amy is coming back to us, and she is now our program delivery partner for Explore. So we are super excited that she's here, she's doing this with us. Amy can do this in her sleep. She's an amazing woman, and I'm thankful to have her. And the gentleman that's over there, that is Rob Sweeten. He is a teacher at Boca High School. He is also a First Tech Challenge coach. And last year he came to me and said, hey, what about we run First Tech Challenge in South Florida? And I went, oh, that's funny. And now we're running First Tech Challenge in South Florida. So we have started today. Today was the kickoff for First Tech Challenge. That is the 12 and up, 12 to 18-year-olds. They build 20 to 40-pound robots and compete. And their game today is called Center Stage, which also works with ours, which is Masterpiece. So if you want to know more about First Tech Challenge, we have it over here. Team limits around 15 to 20 kids. There is a rookie grant available. It will pay for everything your first year and give you a robot. So if you have questions about that, ask me or ask Alan. She knows everything about all the older first robots, First Tech Challenge and First Robotics Competition. But this is your new dream team. We have so been named by Kate, our COO of COX Science Center. And our new league is, I gotta move that out, but it is bothering me. Kind of better. Our sponsors for the new league, FLL is our major sponsor this year, along with Stiles Nicholson Foundation and the COX Science Center. Our new league is called FUN, First United Network. This is our awesome logo that Lisa made for us, so we're keeping it. And we're very excited to combine ourselves. So now we cover students from age 4 all the way up to 18. All right, so I want to introduce our first senior mentor. This is Alan Bernstein, and I just realized I left her name off of there, and my apology. I know.
They won't remember anyway.
Alan is an amazing woman. She's going to tell you a little about herself and what she does with First, and then talk to you a little bit more for the next couple of slides.
Great, and I'll do this. You can do it. That's perfect, because I don't do those at all. Anyway, hi, I'm Alan, and that's one of my friends from Championship. In Houston. That was from, yes, that guy actually is awesome. I just want to tell you how important you all are, because this is a great turnout. This is pretty impressive, because if it wasn't for all of you, we wouldn't have a First Lego League program. So take the credit because you deserve it, and keep doing a great job, because we need coaches, parents, mentors, all of you. Thank you. Okay. First core values. When Stacy said I work with some of the older kids, I coach a robotics team at Miami Beach, in Miami Beach. And North Miami Beach I did for a couple of years until COVID came, and that was it. But FRC is where I have most experience. So if it comes to First Lego League, you've got, there they are. There's the brain trust right there. First core values is something, if you have not heard of that, if you do not know, most of you who are coaches do. I'm one of the judges for that in First Lego League. And this is something that it makes First different from many other robotics programs, because it's not just about Legos, it's not just about building a 120 or 125 pound robot for engineering purposes. It's all about working together and building the skills that our young people will need to succeed in the future, now and in the future. Anyway, so let me move along. One of the...
Oh, did you want to not move along?
No. It'll be real short, I promise.
That's okay, it was my fault.
No, it's not your fault. You're trying to get me to go. I just want to mention a couple of things, because as coaches, some of you, we see all kinds of interesting things, but even up until high school, teamwork is probably one of the most challenging areas of core values, because there's always going to be some kind of discord. It's just life, okay? You know, adults sometimes have those issues. But what I suggest, I'm not going to go and read the slide to you. I know you'd like me to, but I'm not going to. But the teamwork, inclusion, innovation, fun is really probably one of the other most important things, because if you and the young people on your teams are not having fun, it's not going to happen, okay? And what is the last one that I can't see? Impact? Is that what that one is? Impact. Huh?
Apologies, I don't know why.
No, that's okay. That's all right. I could make it up. I could see part of it. But anyway, that's very, very important. We do judge, and we do look at not just what the kids are telling us during judging. We watch behaviors. So just the little hint, and I'll leave it there. I'm done on that. Do you want to introduce this, or I will? This. I just want you to please, if anything, to watch this, because this kind of gets to all of us that have been with FIRST. I mean, Stacy and I have been with FIRST in one way or another since what, the 90s?
7 years.
Yeah, and I on and off are the same. So it's really kind of in here and in here. So you'll see what we mean when you watch this.
This isn't a robot. It very well may have hydraulic arms, a drivetrain, and a circuit board, but this isn't a robot. This is a lesson in humility, hard work, and collaboration. This is a CrossFit workout for the muscle upstairs. This is an apple for the next generation of Newtons. It's a lot of things, but this isn't a robot. This is a roadmap that leads straight to engineering. This is a rock to shatter 1,000 glass ceilings, a rope to pull a generation up and out of poverty, a sledgehammer to break down cultural barriers, and a universal language spoken in every nation on earth. And because of that, this is a compass that can help point the way to peace. But please, don't think this is just a robot. This is Glastonbury for technology. This is mission control for the next moonshot. This is the Rosetta Stone to help translate the future. This is the sport that will help us win tomorrow. This is the software to program ourselves to cure cancer, build a clean engine, or step foot on Mars. But this isn't a robot. It's a machine to build the people who will change the world.
FIRST, there you go. FIRST is in 98 different countries, guys, and more. I've been very blessed to be part of FIRST Global, and I get to go to Singapore next month to share and do judging for FIRST. It's an amazing opportunity, and what you guys have in your classroom, it's happening all around the world, everywhere. It's the same exact thing, same problems, same solutions, same energy. It's these kids being kids, and we are building up those kids. So it's extremely important to us And I would like you to understand how much better we are getting here in South Florida thanks to the next lady, Lisa.
Butler has been.
I didn't do it. Lisa Butler has been with me now for over a year. I think last year we were kind of like feeling our way through this. And I've said it, and I'm going to say it again. Everybody needs a Lisa. And she makes this so much better. So this is Lisa Butler, your other program delivery partner.
As Stacy mentioned, I'm Lisa Butler. I am the co-program delivery partner, and if you've received an email or a newsletter or had any kind of communication about the season or what you need to fill out or why you can't get into your dashboard, you've probably gotten that from me. So I'm pretty good about responding to emails, but sometimes I take Sunday afternoons off, so you might have to wait till Monday morning. Sorry about that. So we wanted to give you a short overview on the progression of FIRST programs. So most of you have coached before, you have a team, maybe you've already registered your team, but maybe you don't understand that there's more to FIRST than just the program you're running in your school. So we want you to understand that progression so that if your school or organization would like to start younger or keep the fun going, you know how to do that. And then we'll talk about what each of those teams are and how you would start that team. So the program starts at age 4 with our Discover program. If you have pre-K students up to kindergarten that want to work with the program, we have an example of our Discover set over here if you want to take a look at it afterwards. Yep. And then after that, we move up to our Explore program for our 6 to 10-year-olds. And so that is a lighter version of coding. They're going to work with the Spike Essentials set, work in groups of 2 to 6 children. After that comes Challenge, which a lot of you were Challenge coaches in here, so I get it, the game board, the robot mission, the innovation project. After that is First Tech Challenge and or First Robotics Competition. And I will tell you, the videos like that really pull at my heartstrings, and I know many of you probably have stories like this too. Children who've come through the FIRST program, and I have a son that was on an FRC team, came through the FIRST program. He's in college now, aerospace engineering major, and I don't know, if that would have been the path he chose if he didn't have that experience at FIRST. So it's not just a video, it's not just a fun story, it's real life, and we live it, and I know many of you in this room have stories like that too. The next one.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're just going to quickly go over, if you're interested in starting any of these teams, how you might do that and what the cost might be for that and what you need to do. So for Discover, we have class packs, and that serves a group of 8 students. When you register on your first dashboard, you receive your kit. You would need to purchase a Steam Park set and pay for first registration. There is no COX Science Center League registration because you celebrate in your own classrooms and your own organization. So we don't do events for our Discover students, for our youngest students. But it's a wonderful entrance into the FIRST program so that students are ready to transition into Explore when it's time. So an Explore program, some of you in here run Explore programs, but for those of you that don't, if you are at a school where you think that this might be a nice addition to get your kids prepped for your challenge team, that's great. You would use the Spike Prime Essentials Robot Kit, teams of 2 to 6 children. So that's an evergreen product. Once you buy your Spike Essential, then you keep that, and then all you have to do for the next year is buy the new set. First registration is $125, and our COX Science Center League fee is $25 to participate in our league festivals that we have for the Explore. For Challenge, this one, it's the Spike Prime set, and you would pay for your first registration and order your challenge field and mat. We like to break it down this way so that you can see. When you add everything up, it's about $100 per kid, which is the same price you're going to pay for maybe an after-school club or a team sport that your child might play, at rec ball, something like that. So we try to break that down so that the sticker shock doesn't get you like, wow, that's a lot when you add it all up. But when you think about what you pay for other recreational activities and the benefits that you get out of this, we really feel like it's worth it when you invest in it that way. Sure.
Can you go back to the other slide?
Yes, you can do anything.
Thank you.
This one?
Yes.
Challenge?
The $150 that is for the team, or
Yeah.
that's for individual? Because they
Yeah. There's no individual cost for each student. When you register your team on first, the first registration for $250 is for the entire team, and then the COX registration is for the entire team. And actually, you read my mind. The next slide, I'm going to go over what the difference between those two are, because that's confusing for people sometimes.
I think also your website suggests like per person, the 150.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll take a look at
that's
that.
the COX Science Center's weight of clubs, so we'll look at that again.
Yeah, the verbiage.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Thank
No
you for
problem.
bringing that up.
So just to give you an idea, kind of, why we went over this, also to explain the progression of programs, but because we support teams, our job is to support the teams in the region. It is not FIRST's policy to match students with teams. So unlike other organizations that you can log on and find a team in your area and all the information is out there, that is not FIRST's policy due to the privacy policy and youth protection. So our job is to support teams, and we want to provide you the right information to either start your own team or connect us with someone at your school or organization that you think would like to start a team, that we can help facilitate that process. So this can get a little cloudy, and we wanted to cover it today. There are 2 registrations. You register with FIRST on the FIRST Inspires website for your team number, access to digital materials, you've got your dashboard there. That is to be a team. The separate registration for your COX Science Center League is for event participation. So when you register with FIRST, you have not paid for event participation. You've paid to be a robotics team, have access to the materials, buy your challenge kit, have an amazing season having fun. If you want to participate in local events, you have to register with COX Science Center League. That fee is for the entire team, and it covers 1 scrimmage, 1 practice qualifier, and 1 qualifier. If your team qualifies for our regional tournament, there will be an additional fee. But that $150 covers your entire season of events. In addition to that, that covers things like this Kickoff, coaches chats monthly, where we go over robot design, innovation project, expert interactions. We're already starting to line up virtual calls so that your teams can meet with experts that are relevant to the innovation project. And so they share their innovation project, ask questions, get information from an expert. So we try to provide a tremendous amount of enrichment that will really make that $150 count. And for our Explore teams, we provide Explore festivals for the $25. So does that make sense, those 2 separate registrations? Okay.
I just want to for the second category, I think is the challenge. I think the 150 makes a lot of sense. But can you go on the Explore, the $25, do they also have like events that they go to?
So the Explore teams will have festivals where they present their journey, the information and the project that they put together, and they're reviewed by reviewers. So someone will come around and ask questions, give them an opportunity to share what they know, to show their project, their coding skills. And so that's what a festival is like. It's not a competitive environment where you're pitted against other teams. It's where you share your knowledge.
So is it $25 per festival that you want to participate in, or just $25?
Great question. No, it's $25 for the season, and you get to choose your festival. And once you register with the COX Science Center League, you will receive.
Yeah, you did. I'm just saying 1 festival.
One festival, yeah. You will receive an event selection form, and that's how you select your events.
Has that come out yet? I hadn't seen the event selection form yet.
Do you have
For Explore.
For Explore?
Yeah.
It will be out shortly. We have all of the events scheduled, so that should be out shortly. Challenge team should have already received theirs.
So you pick 1 festival, and then you pick 1 practice, 1 scrimmage, and 1 qualifier.
If you're an Explore team, you get 1 festival.
Okay.
If you're a challenge team, then you get 1 scrimmage, 1 practice qualifier, 1 qualifier. So there are 2 separate forms you have to fill out, 2 registrations.
It's on the FLL Explore slide, it said something about a region's champion or something like that, but that's only for challenge?
So are we hosting a Explore festival at the regional tournament?
So generally, at our regional,
Let's ask.
okay.
We want to we know anything about Amy Erickson, what do you think she's going to say? Yes, Amy Erickson will definitely put something at the regional in February, for sure.
So again, it's not a competition, but it would be a festival, like a brand festival with many, many teams at our regional tournament. We're in the process of determining those logistics. Thank you.
I think in the past you were allowed to go to as many festivals as you wanted, right, throughout the year. So is that different this year?
Well, let me answer that one. Okay.
All right, so what happens is for that $25, we purchase trophies for your team, plus every team member gets a medal and certificate. And as you can imagine, with prices the way they are right now, $25, we actually go in the hole for doing all that for your team. Plus, if we have reviewers, we need to usually feed our reviewers so they don't faint. So we're trying really hard to kind of get that. If Amy and Sasha decide, well, you know, if they decide that they want to have more, you will hear more about it. But $25 is actually a really reasonable price to run a festival. And it, you know, we didn't want to raise the price this year. But you're right, we did last year because I think we had 20 teams, 15 or 20.
It'll also depend on the number of it'll depend on the number of teams, because I know some of our challenge friends out there will say, well, wait, I went to 3 scrimmages last year. Well, when you have fewer teams and you have more spots open, that number can change. But we are seeing explosive growth of our first LEGO League programs in South Florida. So we're going to have to get a little bit more strict.
Tell the numbers.
So we had about 100 competitive teams last year. We have 249 active teams in South Florida that we support. They don't all compete, but we support them all. A little over 100 participated in competitions last year, and we will probably double that this year. And that means a place for everyone to have a scrimmage and have a qualifier and have amazing event directors that volunteer their time to do that. So we are doing our best to provide so much value for your league registration, and if we have additional openings in space, we will definitely let you know. If we have a scrimmage that didn't fill up and there's an opportunity for a second one, that's something that we would definitely share out.
Thank you.
Yes?
One more question. And so for Explorer, your team can only have up to 6 kids?
Correct. And Explore up to 6.
And so those 6 can go to the festival?
Correct. Yeah. And, you know, I've done this program since 2003 with First LEGO League Explore. It used to be junior. I just made multiple teams, and we did basically the same thing and just kind of built on each other. You know, that kind of thing. It's pretty easy in Explore when you have that group of kids. But we'll talk about it. I mean, definitely we would love to have more events. I mean, we hate to say no. So we are looking at opening up more events now. Ooh, yay.
One more quick thing. If you have a question about Explore, so yes, I'm pointing at you. So, she's like, me? Yes, you. Sasha is the expert. So stand up so they can see your face.
This is Sasha.
This is Sasha. Actually, I should say, you can ask her children, because
Her children are
they're the experts. They're amazing. So if you have questions about Explore and the program and how that works, this family in the second row here.
Oh, no. We saw you in action last year. And we're going to move on. I would love to introduce our new head ref, Melissa Cabot. I was looking at it as I'm trying to say it. Cabbage. And we are very, very thankful she's here. She's doing. She's going to go over our robot game, which we are going to have on camera, I believe, up here, right?
I could.
Yeah,
I just need to swap some stuff.
Let's swap some stuff.
I'll swap some stuff.
Okay.
Do you want me to go over the full game now, or do you want me to do that after? However you want to do it, this is your time. I feel like afterwards. Okay, afterwards.
So, I'm Melissa Kazakavich. You can call me just Kaz. It's okay. My students call me Kaz. I answer to that. If you say Kazakavich, I'm going to just probably walk past you. I'm the new head ref. I'm taking over for David Gratz. Those are really big shoes to fill. Sparkly shoes.
So please be patient with me. I have a lot I'm in the process of learning and figuring out as I go. I'm also a teacher, so there's a lot. So for the robot game, same parameters as last year if you were part of a challenge team. We have the 2.5 minutes, so you are programming a Spike Prime robot to complete missions. Currently on the board, there are about 15 missions, but there's a couple other things that we can look at, precision tokens and all of that sort of information. I will go over all of the missions on the board at the end so we can kind of get through all the information. So if you want to actually check out the board, look at the board, see the missions, maybe move the models and things like that, we'll do that at the end so that Stacy can get through everything, because I could probably talk for an hour on the board by myself. Teacher. So your team is responsible for building their Spike Prime robot, making their designs, all of their modifications, adaptations, whatever attachments they're looking to do, and then program the robot to actually compete and perform and do those different missions. So the goal is, no, it's me, sorry, I'll move. So the goal is for your team to try to compete as many of those missions as possible. Once you see the missions, you'll get an idea of how difficult some of them can be. Some of them are really easy. FLL does give us the mission model for one mission, so they actually give us like an idea and they provide you the code to complete one mission every year. That's mission number 2. So when you go to a scrimmage or a qualifier, you have 1 practice round on the board, and then you have 3 actual judged ref rounds, and it'll be the best 4 out of the 3. So this is just a picture of the board. There's one already set up. There are cards on the board for each of the missions. You can actually pick up the card and see what the mission is supposed to look like and is supposed to run. We'll talk about them and go through them individually. And that's it. Thank you.
And we're all trying to decide on what Melissa's supposed to wear this year. So, if y'all have any ideas.
Yes.
What are the dimensions of the mat?
The mat hasn't changed. The board is 8 by 4. So the mat's a foot in from each side. But yeah, we do start in the middle, and we do have starting sides on both sides, right and left. Red and blue. Anything else? And we do have extra boards if anybody needs a board. We are running states and some other fabulous events this year, so I'm having my FRC team build 12 brand new tables. So we do have boards. If anybody wants them, you have to come pick them up from Burns Road Storage Unit, because I no longer have a minivan that will hold it. So, sorry. And this is our wonderful head judge advisor, Nicole Crane, who woke up this morning sick. So, very sad, because she is a wealth of knowledge and understanding, and instead I am going to help with that, and I've got all my notes. So, here we go. It'll be great. But Nicole is wonderful, so please definitely connect with her. Robot design, your team will go in front of judges during your practice qualifier to practice and your qualifier. And the judges is going to be for 30 minutes. You have 3 judges, 1 for core values, 1 for robot design, and 1 for innovative project. The team will talk to the judges do the presentation for 5 minutes, and then have questions and answers for 5 minutes. Robot design, basically you're going to identify your mission strategy, design your robot and programs, and create an effective plan. Judges want to see your plan. They don't want to say, oh, this just happened. Judges don't like that. They want purpose and intent. Just hint. Create your robot and coding solution. Now, can you copy what a robot already is? If you go to Share and Learn, you go to primelessons.org, you go to those other websites where you learn how to do a robot, there is nothing wrong with using those robots. But what I will tell you, make the rest of it your own. Tell the kids, okay, this is a great chassis, this is a great base, make it your own. Because the judges will ask. They'll say, that looks really familiar. You don't want to copy, you want them to use it as inspiration, is what I tell the kids. Don't copy, use it as inspiration. Iterate, test, and improve your robot design. Obviously, we're using the engineering design process. That is what we want to teach these kids. Is it supposed to work the first time? No, it's not supposed to work the first time. I hope it utterly fails. I hope it has an astronomical failure. Okay, that's what I hope. And I want it to fail because that's how they learn. And I do not want you as coaches to give them the answer. That's not our purpose here. Our purpose is to ask questions. What do you think happened? Was it supposed to be smoking? Was it supposed to fall parts on the floor? No, okay? So ask questions and just get them to talk to you and talk to each other. You are basically a facilitator. You are not the answers. You are not Google, okay? So you don't know. It's okay to say, I just don't know. Let's look at it. Let's find it out. Communicate your robot design process and everyone's contribution. As a judge, I want to know that those 5 people all contributed some way to the robot. They might be the rock star of core values or the amazing innovative project designer. That's fabulous. But I want to know that they actually understand that this button is on the robot and they don't know how to do a mission. They might not do it in the game, but it's good for them to know that. You should have no one that is only the engineer, only the programmer. Okay, we're building children here. We're building the future. They need to be more than just one thing. Okay, sorry, get off my book. Get off my 2 cents there. Sorry. Innovative project. It is masterpiece. Okay, I will give you my 2 cents on this one. This is extremely broad innovative project. This is almost like when we did the school one a couple of years ago. So, what is your greatest passion? That's what you're asking the kids. What's your great passion? Tell me what is your great passion, and then you're going to discuss it, okay? What is their hobbies, their interests? They're going to research the problem and solution. One of the things that I can tell you right now, when we talk about STEAM in the school district, what do we instantly say? Oh, that's just for the art. That's just for the art kids. That's not true. Those art kids, which was me at the time, we understand how to use perspective. We understand how to visualize things. That's what a lot of these kids don't know how to do yet. The art kids will know how to visualize it. So you can think of a problem. How can I share my love of, knitting? Okay, how can I share my love of knitting with the world? How can I make everybody a knitter? I don't know. Are you passionate about that? Ask the kids, are you passionate about that? Then share it. How are we going to share it? What are we going to make? Well, we're going to make knitted cozies for all of our robots and all of our robot friends so they don't get cold. Okay, why? Why is that a solution? Well, if you go to a cold region, the robots don't react well to the cold. Okay, there's kind of a technology there. So pulling it out, guys, you don't have to solve these problems. I will tell you right now, the kids will solve the problem. You just have to give them enough length and enough distance that they actually figure it out themselves. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be hard work because this one's not as clear as the astronaut one. This is going to be harder. But it's okay because the purpose of it is to design a new solution or improve existing one based on your selected idea, brainstorming, and plan. As a judge, I want to know what you're talking about. I want to see a prototype. I want to see the kids working it out. They can do a skit. They can do a Shark Tank. They can do a song. They can do a dance. They can do anything that has to show their problem and their solution. They have 5 minutes to convince me as a judge to want to hear more. That's the whole purpose. Please, have your kids go into judging with some kind of prototype. Judges eat that up. Love it. Iterate your solution again. Okay, back to the design process. Iterate your solution by sharing it with others and collecting feedback. And communicate your solution's impact. That means if you are talking about knitting, you better be talking to somebody who is an expert at knitting. You better be talking to somebody, whether it's on the phone, whether it's on the computer, whether it's in person. You need to search out those experts. A few years ago, it's now been about 10 years now, one of the schools I was working with was doing, they were trying to figure out how to make a recycled invention They couldn't think of anything. They're eating potato chip bags. And they were like, what can we do with these potato chip bags? I don't know. Are they recyclable? No, not really. And so they figured out how to make insulation for walls using potato chip bags. Those kids went on and became the second in the world in their prototype and discovery. Those 12 and 13-year-olds from middle school all got a patent in their name at 12 years old. I'm telling you, these kids all earned a lot of money because of their insulation idea of potato chip bags. They proved it. They built a house, and the house had an insulation of potato chip bags. They showed the process of how they made it, what they did to it, and then they had experts come in that were insulation experts, and they all said, yes, this does work. And then they sold their idea. It happens. When you least think about it, when you least expect it, it does happen. And not as passionately as that, but those are the kids that, they've got some crazy ideas. Just go with it. And then have themselves proved wrong. There has been an update on this problem and solution. You will find it on Share and Learn on the Facebook page. You will also find it in First Updates. And they basically have stated, here goes. Select and identify a hobby or interest. This can be any hobby or interest, not just arts related. What hobby has our team picked? Identify a specific problem related by sharing your hobbies or interests. How is this hobby currently shared? Are there any problems in how it's shared? What is currently shared? Perfect, okay? So if we're going back to knitting. I don't know how to knit. I really never done that. So you can go to knitting and you can say, okay, we're going to build a spike prime robot that will knit for us. Okay, there you go. You got technology. Yes?
Can you say that one more time? I'm going to record it so the children can physically hear you.
What did I just say?
I can't, but we're recording this.
We're recording it. What did I just say? I will gladly say anything you tell me to say. Which part?
Okay.
Which one? I can say.
Well, no, it's fine.
I'm sorry.
I have to search for it.
Okay. I will do a special video just for your class, and I will put it on YouTube, so everybody will share it. I have no problem with that. You know that. But yeah, so Innovation Project is special for me. I love the Innovation Project. I love judging Innovative Project. I want your kids to come in there and judging. I want them to be confident. I want them to have some papers for me to look at. I want them to have a board that I can see. Judging, that's what I'm looking for, okay? Don't just come in and then have them, with gum in their mouth. Oh my goodness, don't do the gum. But just get them excited about their project and build them up. That's your job. Your job is not to make it perfect. Your job is to build up these kids. And they will make it perfect. Core values, which is what our amazing Alan talked about. Your team needs to apply teamwork and discovery to explore the challenge. Innovate with new ideas about your robot and your project. Show how your team and your solutions will have an impact. And be inclusive. That's important. Everybody on the team is important. Everybody's included. And celebrate by having fun in everything you do. You will have a time where the kids are going to share what you, as a coach, does for the team. It's one of my favorite questions, and we always ask it. Okay, tell us about your coach. What have they done special about to your team? You want those kids to say, oh my word, my coach, he does nothing but sit there and tells us, what do you think? What do you think? I think we're going to make them a shirt that says, what do you think? That is what we're looking for. We do not want a coach that answers all their questions. That's not what we're doing, okay? You're not Google. That'll be a shirt too. Oh, and there's me. I'm the other program delivery partner. I'm going to talk to you about your teams. This was at Frost Museum 2 weeks ago with Miss Allen. We had an awesome time. What does your team need? Your team needs a Spike Education Prime Kit, Lego Spike Prime Kit. Does it have to have a Lego Spike Prime Kit? No. You can use the EV3 Mindstorm, which is still valuable and viable. And you can actually use an NXT, which is from 15 years ago. That's still viable. If you use a CRX or a RCX, what is it? RCX? CRX washer. The other one, the first generation.
Oh, Yeah,
RCX, don't do that one.
Say
It's-
Lego brain.
It's
That
the
makes-
Lego brain. It doesn't work, so don't do the one that's from 25 years ago. It's horrible. Trust me on that one. Not programmable. But Spike, Mindstorm, those are still great. This is what you use for your Spike. You actually have your electronic devices. I suggest using a tablet. The iPad seems to work with the Bluetooth very, very well. The kids can take it to the table and back. Chromebooks seem to have issues. Still okay to use. There's ways to do anything. So just let me know if you have a question. There are ways to get around it, but I kind of like the tablet a little bit better. If you're doing long sets of code, you can, download it. Please always download your programs. How many people last year lost their programs at some time? Yeah. Don't do that. Make sure you download it. Save it on a zip drive. Yeah. We had a team at regionals that lost all of their programs and nobody saved it. So just be aware, these kids, they do things and they make it disappear. Yes, Washer.
Also, one of the big things is kids use school computers. Sometimes you can't bring school computers with you, so it's easier to do it on an iPad or a device that you can take with you to these competitions.
Very, very good advice. Yes.
Now on the tablet though, that requires Bluetooth, so how do you handle that as a company?
You turn your Bluetooth off. You download everything into your robot.
Right, but let's say you want to make an adjustment at the event, you have to have the Bluetooth.
Right, you can turn the Bluetooth on if you're away from the game tables, but yeah, you shouldn't have any Bluetooth around the game tables because you don't want to change other people's robots.
I just wanted to share a solution that was helpful for me regarding the code, was to not just download it, but upload it to the cloud, to any cloud service, Google Drive, whatever you want to use. But if there's a way, I learned on iPad, there's a way to sort of export your code so that you can then upload it and either preserve it or be able to access it somewhere else or from different devices.
Save your code. Trust me on that one because it does disappear very quickly. Or little Johnny comes in and decides, oh, I'm going to do this new thing, and he doesn't make a copy. He does it on the original. It's painful. So make a copy. Team meeting guides. These are valuable, and you will be getting them if you sign up for first. You get a first number. You get your or you're renumbered. And then you get these meeting guides. You have the engineering notebook, you have team meeting guide, and robot game notebook. Fabulous resource. And there's more. Once you have registered on your dashboard, you guys can then go onto the dashboard to Thinkscape. And all of these books are digital. Everything is digital. So you can take one page, download it, send it out as homework, etc. Which is what I did. I did it on my Google Classroom. Go ahead.
With the books, when you get them, you get one team meeting guide. You'll get 2 robot game rule books, and you'll get 2 engineering notebooks. So those are also helpful to bring into the judging. If as a coach you keep one of each of them, and then you give your students the engineering notebook so they can actually track and write in it, and you give them the robot book and they can write into it. Those are 2 resources they can bring right into the judging room and have it mapped out for them. So if they're a newer team or if they're a younger team, sometimes that's easier for them to follow. Correct.
Yeah. In our team journey, engineering design process. I'm a science teacher. I teach middle school science. That's my passion. So the engineering design process is so important. Identify ways to solve the challenge. Here's your piece. Design your innovative project, discover, use core values, and design your robot. Those are the 3 things you're doing as a team meeting. Here's your engineering design process. If you don't know it, identify, design, create, iterate, and communicate. Please remember to communicate. I found a lot of teams last year never communicated their problem or their solution. So find an expert. So if you're talking about somebody who does knitting, I'm sorry, I can't in my brain. If you have somebody who does knitting, share, okay? If you have somebody who has a problem with technology and that your problem and your solution solves it, share it and then document that person. If you can find somebody to make a a special say, yes, this team helped me so much. It's even better. Yes, Wash.
I see a lot of people taking photos of the PowerPoint. Can we post this on the Facebook page and
Sure.
stuff for them? Okay.
Absolutely, we can post this on Facebook. And we'll probably mail it to you because we have your emails. And if I know Lisa Butler, she's already taken care of it. All right, so team journey also, this is a different way. Create your innovation project, no, it's actually the same. Create your innovation project solution, iterate your solution, and create your robot. So before it was problems, now it's solution. Don't forget both. Communicate your solutions at your event and compete in the robot games. That's your journey. So team roles, really, really important. You can have a team captain. I never had a team captain. I don't like the word captain. So I had, a team lead, and I would change every couple of weeks. You can have a creative designer. You can have researchers, project managers, communicators. You can have these kids with these labels, which is amazing and gives them ideas of what to do. You can have a SWAT, which tells the kids, okay, when you finish a project or when you're working on a project, write it down. Here is what we're working on. Be quiet. Here is what we're working on. And this is what we're doing if little, Abigail can't be there next week. Now we know what Abigail is working on. So make sure you use it. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
No, I was just going to say to reiterate, to give people some ideas of what to do with our kids. We have a daily agenda, and then they can just get access to their team. And so it says what they're doing today. Then on the other side, it says what they actually accomplished and what they still need to work on. Then that way everybody can go back the previous day or the previous week to see where we're on.
And a lot of teams, you guys are only meeting once a week. It's going to be hard. Just be prepared to just have a really good time at the competition. You're going to be great. You're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be fine. But some teams meet twice a week or every day. Those teams, it takes a lot to keep these kids active, and those things, I made it into a Google Classroom. I had, my kids go into the Google Classroom to know what they were going to do. It keeps it flowing. And kids who have nothing to do are going to get in trouble, and they're going to erase your program. So don't do that. You need a material manager? Yes. Why do you need a material manager? Because your stuff disappears. And I will tell you right now, those little minifigs on that table, they are going to disappear. I want to put like an Apple tag on them, but they're too little. Because they're going to disappear. You had something?
So this is my first time. When I hear two things that are, maybe you can help me understand. One is doing Google Meets, and then we talk about doing digital materials. Is it that there's opportunity to do these regular kind of check-ins during the week, and then one day to do the build-out? Can you share just like some best practices?
Sure, that's a great question. So it depends on how you're going to run your team. Most kids have like a 2-hour minimum, attention span, and like 20 minutes of that is snap time. So let's be seriously. So that's not a whole lot of time, truthfully. And so you have a couple of kids working on programming and running the robot. Okay, so you have them doing a mission. There are how many missions, Melissa?
Technically 15.
To 15. So you have 15 missions. So it's easy if you want to get everybody involved. You have 2 kids working as a partner, and you have them doing a mission and a program. Okay, so that's theirs. I have bought in the past, I have done, made like one on the board. I've used old mats, and I've done one on the floor, another board, and I've taped it out of where their mission is, and then put their mission on there, so they're not all using the same table. And so you go through that. You have 4 or 5 kids running that, right? 2 kids each. Then you have somebody that's running and talking and researching about the project. Then you have somebody that's coming up with teamwork activities for core values. By the time you finish those 3 major things, time's up. You've lost the kids, right? They have to go home. Little Abigail got picked up early again. She's supposed to be doing the project. So it's easier if you make team meets or Google Classroom where the kids know where they're each left off. So that makes it easier for you. Truthfully, when you're doing one of the team meetings, you're going to have a couple of kids who are the programmers. We understand that. The judges understand that. We know those kids. But you want to make sure, when I ask everybody out of judging, who worked on the program in here? I want to see 100% of those kids with their hands raised. I want to see everybody at least had a chance to program. Okay, that's a goal. And then you have those rock stars that are the researchers. They came up with this great solution and a problem, and they're running with it, and everybody on the team is okay with that. Then they're going to do the research. Most of the time, research happens outside of the meeting.
So my kids are all homeschooled. And
Good.
when you say teams, I'm thinking it looks like basically you can get them together and they work on teams as a tool, or they can be working remotely on teams. I'm not just certain on.
Yeah, so Teams is where you're working remotely. You're not doing Teams when you're together. Google Classroom is when you're working remotely. You know, yeah, when you're with the kids, you're giving them direct actions. Okay, what are we doing next? Okay, you want to do that? All right, then moving on to that. Exactly. Yeah, Teams is when you have people that keep leaving and going home early, or and they need to be caught up. It's a good place to put your script. It's a good place to put your programs. It's a good place to put your ideas and the brainstorms. And then if you have somebody that's involved in that, my computer died. If you have somebody that is your team lead, let's go back to that one. Your mission strategist, that's someone that works on the programs. Coders, programs, builders, that's the kids that are in charge of setting up the assembly of the game, the 15 missions. Okay. All right, so this is your timeline. Registration's happening until November. As Lisa said, we've got a lot. We are at 90 teams right now. Okay. And you imagine we had 100 teams when we were competing last year. So you see where our numbers are going. Events are happening until February. Scrimmages, that is not right. Scrimmages are only happening September through November. Practice qualifiers are happening October through December. Qualifiers are only happening in January. Lisa and I made an executive decision. We're in 3 weeks of qualifiers. That's it. So you will have probably 4 or 5 qualifiers happening each weekend. And regionals is going to be February 16th and 17th. And then state is going to be March 7th and 8th and 9th. And then we have some exciting news to share with you about World Festival and invitationals. Here is a QR code, I can't think of the name, for all these events. Okay? It's also on the website. All these events are amazing. We have already we only have 3 scrimmages. 2 of our scrimmages are already closed. The only scrimmage we have left right now is the Frost Museum one, October 21st. So Lisa and I see an issue. So Lisa, in her wonderful wisdom, is going to probably run another scrimmage here. Hopefully we'll get some regional planning team members to come in and run a regional here. So we will do a scrimmage. Hopefully that's a good problem. That's a good problem to have. So we're excited about that. So we want you to save these dates. We have some exciting things happening. Regional Championship at Palm Beach Gardens High School. February 16th is set up. February 17th is the event. We're looking at around 40 to 45 teams. 5 teams from each qualifier will get a invitation to go to the regional. We are running the state invitation this year. It keeps going. We are running the state invitational this year. It most likely, I didn't do it. Most likely at the Palm Beach Convention Center. Palm Beach Convention Center. Huge, right? Look at you. Are you impressed? I know you are. We are expecting around 60 FLL teams from all over the state of Florida. Okay? That's going to be exciting and amazing. We are of about
An invitation of about 10 or 11 South Florida teams will get to go to the state invitational.
Try it again.
okay.
Yeah.
One more time. We are expecting 10 or 11 of our South Florida teams to be invited to the state invitational. Very exciting. Now, thank you. Now, last year I got to go to the Razorback Invitational. It was phenomenal. It was in the University of Arkansas. It was their 8th year. And I couldn't figure out why they kept asking me to come and why they wanted me to be there. And I was so excited to be able to go. It was wonderful. And I found out it was their last year. That was it. There's no more Razorback, which is heartbreaking. And so, Education and First has asked us if we would run an invitational. And so we are. We are. It is called the First Lego League Florida Sunshine Invitational. It is at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I know. June 19th through the 23rd, 2024. We get to stay on campus. We get to eat on campus. We get to be the team on campus because one team from South Florida gets to be there to represent South Florida. We have 5 regions in Florida, and one of them is South Florida, and we get to actually participate. Super excited. If you would like to be a part of that and volunteer, let me know. Volunteers get to go for free. Get to let me know. Yeah. So volunteers get to stay on campus and get to eat on for free, and it is. I mean, it's amazing. It's an awesome opportunity. So very, very amazed group of people. We get 80 teams from all over the world. 20 of them are going to be outside of North America, and the rest will be North American teams. 5 from Florida. So very excited. All right. Once again, my email, Lisa's email. Crazy looking character that says, ask any questions. I'll tell you no answers. I'm just kidding. All right. We also have another opportunity. We have some fields that need to be built. We have, I think, maybe 8 over there. And we have bankers boxes that the fields need to go in. Lisa's doing her Vanna back there. If your team would like to be responsible for building a field, you just need to check one out for Lisa and just make sure when we ask for it, we can get it back and that it's in working order. Lisa, should they mark them with the COX Science Center? Right, I know. Do they need to mark it though, like with black magic marker, COX Science Center crayon? Yeah, so we'll ask you to put CSCA, I can't spell, on there, and we would greatly appreciate if you build the field for us. That would save Lisa's son from having to build it, or my robotics team, because we're building the 8x4 new fields. Okay. Melissa, I know the questions are going to come to you, so come on over here. All right, anybody have any questions? Yes?
All of the things that you said about the judging for the challenge teams, is it pretty much the same for all the Explore teams?
No, that's a great question. Explore, they get reviewers. There's no judging. The reviewers basically ask certain questions, and the kids just talk to them. It's not scary. It's like 2 hours, and so from the very beginning to the very end, and then they get the little trophies and their medals, and pictures, lots and lots of pictures. So yeah, and the reviewers go to the kids. So if we have kids here with their poster board and their little project and their model, then the reviewers will go down to their level and talk to them and ask them questions. And then, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Reviewing is fun. Anybody that wants to be a reviewer, just let us know. Sasha will get your number. Yes?
You said you had something exciting to share about Worlds. Was that in the Brutal piece it, or did I miss it?
Yeah, Worlds is still in Houston. I meant Embry-Riddle. That's the invitational. Worlds is in Houston, Texas. It'll be April 17th through the 20th, I believe. It's at the George Brown Convention Center. And I'll be there. I'm working with FRC that week, though. It's fun. They have teams from all over the world. Yes, Kelly?
For the Explore sets, for their project, can they use other parts and pieces other than what is in the Explore?
Yes. Anything that is a Lego can be used. And that's the same with Challenge. You can use anything that is a Lego. All right, there's Lego rubber bands, there's Lego pneumatics, there's lots and lots of Lego choices, but it has to be Lego.
They did good with the music and the stage pieces, but apparently my girls want to do fashion shows, so.
Of course they do. Of course they do. That's the Tinkerbots, guys. Just let them know, let you know they are passionate kids. All right. Okay, guys, you're being too easy. I had Melissa up here for effort. Yes.
Quick question, that you don't have to answer. No, yeah, I want to go back just for a second, very, very briefly, about challenge judging. And there's usually at least 3 judges in a judging room. And as the coaches, you're going to come in with your team. If you have not done this before, the coaches come by. Each coach comes in with their team. But that's at the coaching end. Because the team usually stands in front of the judges. Yes, and they present, and they do whichever, because there's usually 3 of us doing 3 different areas. But a lot of times, the coaches, smart people that you are, kind of go behind the judges. Most of us are parents, okay? We have eyes behind our head. Yeah, for sure. And the kids are always looking, past us. And so we know that there's either signs, going on behind us, so we try to go, to stop. Okay.
So no stage parents, is what we're asking.
Nobody in here does that.
The suggestion when you go into judging is usually if the judges are sitting here watching as a coach so that they hopefully don't look at you, if you stay like in line with the judges that are there, it's a little bit easier.
Thank you.
Most of the time we have the coaches at the very back of the room. I used to put like a hula hoop and tell them not to draw the hula hoop.
The judges?
I'm sorry, the coaches. Did I say coaches? I said they're coaches. Coaches, yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're practicing. That's one of the things that you're practicing. You're practicing with the kids the skit and their solution and their problems and what their points. And you're trying to get it to where in 5 minutes you've relayed the information. I love watching Shark Tank. It's exactly like Shark Tank. You have a group of judges, a bunch of sharks, who want to buy your idea. That's how I tell the kids, I want to buy your idea. Infomercials are also really good. $16.95, and you have that one kid that never, ever, ever talks in public. You can have them flashing the $16.95 sign. It's one of those things where you just have to think a little bit outside the box. But everybody has to be included in judging. So that's robot design, core values, and innovative project. So, yes.
I have a question for the Explore family up front.
Explore family.
Did you guys do any, I know there's just scrimmages on the calendar technically, but did you do any lead-ups, or did you get with other teams to do a lead-up before the kids presented to judges?
No, because I just started it, and I was just like some kids, so I didn't do it.
So she was at Port St. Lucie, and there wasn't really any teams up there. So we're hoping to change that. I know, if Sasha has anything to say about it, there will be changes in that. But yeah, I mean, that's a good idea, making friends. Get on Facebook, guys. The Facebook page is great. You can put stuff on there and say, hey, we're living, in the gardens, and we would love to meet with somebody at Panera Bread. And go there, Panera Bread, or go to the park. We've done that. We've taken over all of a Panera Bread once in Palm City, and we just had the kids running through all their projects to all these strangers that are just sitting there eating their pork croissants. And they did. They said, did you share? Yes, we shared to everybody at Panera Bread. There was like 50 people. Yes.
Is there rubrics for this competition?
Yes, there are rubrics.
Is that on Facebook?
It is on the First Inspires website. Nicole had that, and so I didn't get a chance because I didn't get her message she wasn't coming till I was already on my way here. And this was just in my car because, teacher. So yeah, there are rubrics. Yes, Lisa?
We're going to send links to all that out to make sure that you have easy access to it, and you don't have to search for it and make it flexible.
Because everybody needs a Lisa. Yeah, she's got it all. She's got it. Yeah.
Could you give some examples of what types of input from the coaches during the whole process are acceptable? That's it?
That's it. No, so you just clap. Basically, you want the kids to come up with the ideas and solutions, but you know that their robot is like, remember Stretch Armstrong? When the robot, the robot wheels are like etching out because they didn't put it together correctly, and pretty soon it's like stretched like this. And you're like, do you think the robot is supposed to be that big after you start? Do you think you might have missed something? And they're like, no, it's great. This is exactly the way I want it. And you're like, well, okay, it's now covering the whole entire field. Do you think you can do that again? And when, of course, when they put it on there, it's not going to do the same thing again, right? So that's always what I tell the kids. I would like you to run the mission 3 times, 3 to 5. How many times do you run, Brittany, a mission? 1,000,000 times in a row? Seriously?
No,
Okay.
you think, but they're very able, the kids are. Not me.
Okay. I would say if you get it consistently 5 times, then that mission is accomplished. Okay? So if that robot does something different, has different variables, then it's not accomplished. Yes?
We have somebody on our team that takes stats. They're in charge of like.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. All right, that's what I like. Take stats. I like that one. But really, your job as a coach is just to ask questions. Okay? You don't want to give them the solution because it's not really their solution. Just ask questions. And we'll go over some coaches chats. I think our next one is Lisa Butler? September 26th, and that will be one of the things we will go over is, how to work with the team. We'll have Melissa going over some of the game missions and robots and programming. And then we'll also put in there about how to answer questions, strategies. Okay, teacher.
And is that just for the coaches or is it for the whole team?
You can kind of do both. For the most part, the timing wise doesn't really make sense for like your.
So yeah, we do record it. We do record it. It's usually 7 o'clock at night because I am teaching and coaching. So I do the same that you guys are doing. And so when we get home is when we start those meetings. I think it's like 7 or 7:30.
So
And we will record it.
there's a lot of information that's great for coaches to take back to their teams. So it's usually a little bit easier.
Okay, so we're going to go with Melissa because we're getting into that time. She's going to talk to you about the robot game, and she's excited.
is if it is moved up towards the black line, towards the frame, you get your points. So it's 20 points if it's at the frame, or if it's all the way across, it's still 20 points. So it's just a push motion down to get your points there. So that is number one. Mission number 2 is the special mission. LEGO every year gives you a mission. They'll actually give you a guiding code to use, so you can plug it right into Spike Prime. They'll tell you their build model, how they build their prime, and give you the code that fits for that build. It only works if you build Spike Prime to match what LEGO gives you. So if you ask LEGO to do something, or if you build your prime differently, the code will not work. So this code, for this mission, there's another orange, and you push it down. When you push down the orange piece, there's a little flag that moves. So in order to get your points, you have to push down. Oh,
Goes together.
oh, you guys want to touch a little bit? There we go. So when you push down, the flag moves, and then that will tell us that you indicated it and that you got your points. And then the point system comes also from what color it's on. So when it starts, it will always start on the orange, and then when you push it down blue, you get 10 points, and it pushes again to the pink, you get 20, push again to orange, and you get 30. This also has added points if the team that you're competing with is the same color. So if both of your teams end on orange, it's an added 3 points. If both of your teams are on blue, it's an added 20 points. If both teams are on pink, it's an added 30 points. It's supposed to start on orange. So when you go, it will start on the lowest number of points. So technically, if your robot comes into your home and you don't touch it, as long as you don't touch it. So like if it comes up and if you launch it and it comes right here, you can still come in. Or if your robot is small enough to be able to fit into this side, you can use that as well. As long as you have not touched it. It has to come out of launcher. You can't launch it from here. It has to come out of launcher and on that side. It's supposed to exit launch and then come back. Yes. So all of it goes out, and then as it's coming back in, it pushes this and then finishes here. That way. No, because there's a red indicator flag. So it's a red indicator flag that drops, and it drops the first time you initiate. So it's the red indicator that will cue the judges to have what color you're on for your side. That's the special one that has it already done. Then we have 3. I'm going to read this right and stay back so I don't block off this camera. Over here for 3, it's our immersive experience. You have these little pieces. It pushes up. So you see the orange. It comes up. If you have a piece of equipment that actually comes in fully folds it, if the equipment is touching it, you don't get any points. So it has to be completely done on its own. So if you have like equipment or anything that touches the timing, you get no points. As long as it's not touching it at the end, you're fine. So she had a good point. You could just, if the robot comes and hits the side, you could go right there. Yes. You don't have to do the toggle. Not sure they have a design, but as long as it's not there. So if you had, like, let's say your robot comes and pushes it down, and then the robot's still touching it, the robot is touching it.
Video screen went out.
What?
Videos.
No, I should take a picture of you. Oh. Here, you want to do a selfie? Sure. You can do it. I'm never too good at this.
No, we don't.
Right? You think?
Okay. The 4 is indicating our museum. Our museum piece is actually where your innovation model will go. This is our masterpiece. So your innovation project will go on your pedestal, and then your pedestal computers, that's 10. And then your lights are here, and that follows up. If you do both, you get 10 and 10, so that's 20. The second part is our hologram. This is a quick orange, and you just put them in so they sit around the So they toggle up, as long as the orange is in position, they're going to get points for it. So your wraps that are charging your table are going to go based on the toggle system. You know that they'll fail. But as long as your toggles are where they're supposed to be, for example, on the hologram, when they push it in, there's a black line on that, so as long as your toggle is behind it, whether you sit or you're going to toggle. So that is 2 missions, all with our second page. So 6, 7, 8. So 8 is up here. It says the little roller coaster one that's looking. It's not a roller coaster. This is our rolling camera. There's 2 parts to this mission. You have to flip the toggle here if you want all of them at points, or you can leave the toggle down because your points are based on the dark blue, the medium blue, and the light blue that's at the end. So if you launch your camera, if it goes past the dark blue, it's 10, medium blue is 20, and the light blue at the end is 30. So if you want the max points, you can do it there and get all 30. If not, I will warn you when the camera goes. Keep out. But you might not. So depending on your robot, because this is, if you come and play with it, it is difficult for your robot to sit and it doesn't go with an audio and with the difficult part from here though is going to be because there's another mission under my right now. Yes, hold right. And then come back and launch it absolutely. Okay, so that's number 8. Mission number 9 is over here. My students call it the financial. So this is a movie set. You can drag. You have 2 options. If the robot wants to push the boat, you could push the boat. But they're hopeful that you're going to take from the actual camera, and you're going to drag the camera. This is an end zone for the camera, so that's where they want the camera to end, is in the box. So if your camera ends in the box, that's 10 points. If your boat is out of the area and passes it again, there's a black line here, you get the other points, so that'd be 10 and 10. You don't have to use the rope to move the boat. Absolutely. You can combine as many missions on a run as you want. Absolutely. No, they would do 2. So if you wanted to do one part of one and then finish with it on another round, absolutely. So number 10 is here, and it is for the soundboard. So for our sound mixer, the way to get burn points here is to actually lift the toggles. So when you lift them up, they hook and stay. So if you will see on the back of the apparatus, you'll actually see that there's little markers to hold them. I will say, if you do one and then you do the other, it could release them. So now I can't do the first one. So then I would only get points for 2 of them and then 10 points each. So to get the max number of points, your team would have to do the first, the third, and then the middle one. So that would be the right order to get all of them. I believe so. If they push all of them at the same time, no, one at a time. It's this one. You do one and then that one. It's that last one. So that's number 10. Number 11 is the fantastic
my speakers.
Like if it's between them and we can tell that it's kind of on the line, we're gonna give you the higher number.
I think so.
Where's the highest one? Yeah, here?
No, this is the
And then
amplifier.
for-
Yep. Stacy, our amplifier.